Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today, we're zeroing in on just one word, but it's a powerful one, imply.
Right. And this is really for you if you're looking to, get smart fast.
Exactly. A shortcut to understanding how we often say one thing, but maybe mean something slightly different.
Our mission today then is to sort of unpack the mechanics of imply, show you why getting a handle on it can really sharpen your communication skills.
Okay, let's jump in. The roots. Latin, right? Implicare.
That's it, implicare. It meant to entwine or to fold in.
Fold in. I like that. It already hints at something hidden, doesn't it? Wrapped up inside.
Precisely. And that's really the core of how we use imply now, suggesting something indirectly.
It's not hitting the nail on the head.
Not at all. You're hinting. You're letting the listener connect the dots themselves.
So it's quite different from just stating something or saying it.
No, definitely. Even a word like indicate, which seems close, feels a bit more direct, like pointing.
Yeah, imply has that extra layer. Suggestion.
And that indirectness, well, that's where the power and sometimes the trouble lies. It really engages the listener's interpretation.
Okay, so how does this actually work day to day? We use phrases like imply a connection or imply responsibility, right?
Yeah, or even strongly imply.
Yeah.
That shows there are degrees to it.
So like in a conversation, someone might ask, wait, are you implying it was my fault?
Exactly. They picked up on something subtle, a suggestion maybe not intended, or maybe it was.
Or you might say, he didn't say it outright, but he definitely implied it, through his tone
Or body language, yeah. Or silence, even. Silence can imply a lot. Disapproval, maybe agreement.
What about something like her tone implied disappointment?
Perfect example. The words themselves might be neutral, but the way they're said carries the implied meaning.
Or maybe the instructions imply that we should start now. Nobody wrote start now, but...
But the context, the way it's phrased, leads you to that conclusion. It's implied. Like assembling something in reverse order, it implies reassembly.
Right, okay. And we see this in more formal places, too, like the news.
Oh, constantly. Headlines love it. Report implies a link between X and Y.
But they're not saying there is a link for sure.
No, but they're suggesting the data points that way. Or, his comments imply criticism of the policy.
Again, he might not have used the word criticism, but the implication is there in his words.
Yeah, or experts talking about data. The data may imply future rate hikes. It's a suggestion, a possibility based on the evidence.
So this is where it gets interesting and maybe tricky, because it is indirect.
Yeah.
A meaning isn't always crystal clear. It really depends on inference, on interpretation.
Absolutely. You, the listener or reader, have to actively interpret. And that's where, misunderstandings can happen.
Because my interpretation might be different from yours, based on context
Or your own biases, your background, even how you're feeling that day. The same implied statement can land very differently with different people.
So that ambiguity, it can be useful, maybe for diplomacy, but also risky.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword sometimes.
Okay, so boiling it down. The main thing about imply is this indirect suggestion. It kind of puts the ball in the listener's court.
Yeah. You have to read between the lines. It's a cooperative act, in a way. The speaker hints, the listener deciphers.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. How often do we actually rely on implication? Think about your own conversations.
And what are the pros and cons? When is it helpful to be indirect, maybe more tactful?
And when does that same indirectness, the ambiguity, just cause confusion, or worse, allow for manipulation?
It's worth noticing, isn't it, how often you imply things, perhaps without even fully realizing it, and how often you're interpreting what others imply.
It's probably happening more than we think. Anyway, something to mull over. Thanks for diving deep with us today.